Hello, Jets fans. I'm Daniel Kelly, former Jet Scout, here to talk about the biggest game since General Manager Joe Douglas has been hired. That's right. I'm talking about when the Miami Dolphins swim up east to play against the New York Jets this Sunday. This is it. This is one of those defining games that's going to happen for this team and for this regime in the 2022 football season. Miami, of course, is coming into this game in first place at 3-1, playing against the upstart Jets at 2-2. 2 games, they've kind of got clobbered. 2 games, they came back in Cleveland and in Pittsburgh, a place where they hardly ever have won, and came back against the Steelers to win that game. Which team is going to show up this weekend against the Miami Dolphins? That's the question. Sure, it's possible, of course, you have Buffalo going to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Buffalo's also having a chance there at 3-1. But if they lose against the Steelers, it's possible we could be looking at a 3-way tie on top of the AFC East between the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills when this one is over. However, regardless of all that, this is just a really big game for the Jets in years, really. It's just one of those deciding games. It's one of those games that sends a team in one of 2 different directions, right? North or south. It's just one of those defining games on the timeline of the 2022 schedule. And as a former Jets scout, I can see a couple different keys to this game. The Dolphins, of course, are sporting the 10th ranked offensive attack in the National Football League. Per ESPN.com, they've produced a total of 1,444 yards, and of course, 1,167 of those yards have come through the air, giving Miami, I know Dolphins swim, but actually their passing attack is ranked number 3 in the National Football League at this point. And of course, they're coming in against the New York Jets, Jets, right? And they're 15th ranked pass defense per teamrankings.com. What am I talking about here specifically when it comes to this matchup with the Dolphins passing attack against the Jets defensive secondary? Okay, I wrote an article this week in Jets country about this if you want to look it up. And the key really, right, is the Jets are playing against what I feel as an evaluator is the best tandem of receivers in the NFL. I'm talking about Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, okay? Those are the 2 superstar receivers that the Dolphins feature. And they're going to be going up against Jets corner Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, okay? And that's on game film, right, okay? When I study the game film extensively, there's no way to stop these guys, okay? They're superstars, okay? But there is a way to slow them down, and that's by playing tight, physical, aggressive man coverage. Okay, I don't know what it's going to take to shake Robert Saleh out of this cover 3 defense that he's been frozen in since he coached in Seattle. But this is the week Robert Saleh has to show the ability that he can adjust as an NFL head coach and switch, okay, and match personnel against personnel. Not just stay stuck in scheme, but actually match personnel versus personnel. This is going to be his week to prove it. I went back and I studied the 3 games of the Dolphins leading up to this week against Baltimore, 9-18, Buffalo, 9-25, and Cincinnati, 9-29. And if you don't have NFL Plus, I suggest you get it because that's why I study on my NFL game film. I'm a great source of game film. And there's no kickback for me. I don't get any kickback for recommending that, okay? But listen, when you have these 3 teams, the only way they've been able to slow down Waddle and Hill is by playing this tight, aggressive massive man coverage, and that's the only way you can slow them down. So really, I think for my money, I'd like to see Sauce Gardner match up against Tyreek Hill, nicknamed Cheetah, because of the speed factor and also the elite athleticism, okay? Sauce Gardner, best athlete on the Jets, needs to match up against Hill, okay? Then DJ Reed, the more physical corner between the two, probably can match up nicely against Jalen Waddle, who showed he has a hard time catching the ball when he's physically contested, which is another nice thing as well. The tackling of the Jets corners will also be really important because Waddle and Hill have an ability, okay, to pick up yakety-yak yards after the catch like hardly any receivers in the NFL. I mean, they're really super good at it. So the Jets tackling of their secondary is going to be paramount in this one, okay, if they hope to compete and pull out the possible victory. The other big thing here in this game is going to be quarterback Zach Wilson of the Jets doing two things: getting rid of the ball faster and not throwing interceptions, okay? When I saw Wilson come back last week, he looked like the exact same thing he was in 2021, okay? He held the ball too long, okay? And that's why he had to scramble to do all this, because he held the ball too long. I think it was recorded at 3.29 seconds in the pocket. Worst in the NFL. Can't do that in the NFL, okay? And also, he threw 2 picks, but it could have been 4 or 5 interceptions in this game, and you cannot do that and win. But if the Jets can slow down Waddle and Hill, and Zach Wilson can pull the trigger faster and not throw those costly picks, the Jets do have a real chance of winning this game, a defining game of the season against the Miami Dolphins, and take an even bigger step forward as an organization. Thanks for watching, everybody.